Hello, everyone. Welcome to 2D Board Gamers. My name is Dave,
Hey, Bob, it's Dirk.
and we just got back from Con of Heroes and thought we would talk about it, what we thought about it. And yeah, so I really enjoyed this year con. I thought it was really fun. What do you think?
So no, I had a lot of fun with it. As always, I love the custom content that they do for the Con of Heroes. A PS, you don't have to actually make it to the con to get that. They do it as print and play on their website, so you can always go there and just print out your own versions. But we, being at the con, we actually got the printed out on actual cardstock. So that's pretty cool. But no, I love their custom scenarios and stuff. Although they had the symbiote suits custom symbiote suits. Those were kind of a pain.
Yeah.
Those were definitely difficult.
So the campaign was you picked four scenarios, and scenario 1 through 3, once you defeated the villain, you would get some kind of reward from the symbiote suit. But we decided to have Kang as the first villain.
Oh wow!
And oh my god, the suit made him so tough. And this is Kang's standard
Yeah,
too.
so tough, and it took forever to finally
Yeah,
get
it
him.
took us 3 tries. We had been going through all three symbiotes before we were able to defeat Kang. And then our second scenario, who did we pick for number two? Um,
I don't even remember.
I don't either, but we ended up abandoning the campaign after
We
the
weren't going to have time
second
to
villain.
finish it.
Yeah. I
So
mean, you have all day Saturday for the campaign, but I actually really like the
Carnage,
yeah,
the Carnage scenario
the
was fun.
Carnage
Yeah,
event was really fun. So it's like they have everybody. Well, they actually kind of had two multiverses because the con had gotten so big that the
we
main
overflowed the main
the
area.
main room, yeah. So there were some people that were out on the store, which was about 6 tables of 4 people each, and so that was our own little universe. And then all the tables inside was like the big universe. And so Carnage was a villain that they created. And he had a he combined the hit points based on the number of
Total players in the
total players.
universe.
Yeah, so I think inside he had like over 2,000 hit points or something.
Yeah, he was big.
Yeah. And it's like Carnage ascending to godhood, basically.
And the interesting thing about this one is, unlike some of the past ones, if you advanced from stage one to stage two of a villain, or not of a villain, of the scheme, so if you cleared a scheme to go to the next one or something, then, or, yeah, or, but if, when you switch stages, everybody switches automatic at the same time.
Yeah.
So unlike others where, you did it individually at each table, nope. If one table switched, boom, everybody did. And I think we're actually the ones who triggered the switch.
Yeah. Yeah, we actually had to kind of hold back because they decided that you could only do so much damage a turn, so that everyone can attack. And we were like sitting, with nothing, some people having nothing to do because we would score all the damage
Poor David
before.
got the short end of the stick there on that one, I
Yeah, he was
think.
playing aggression, and I hardly did any damage because it never got to me.
Yeah,
Uh,
when it finally got to him, he thought he was going to get the killing blow, and somebody stole it out from
yeah,
underneath.
yeah, yeah. I had enough to do it, and but then another table ended it. So, yeah, and we had one table in a group where there was
Four
aggression,
aggression
four
players,
aggression
yeah,
players. So,
they were kind of in a similar situation to us. We were all playing all different aspects,
yeah.
but we had two non-aggression decks that were very strong.
But I think my favorite scenario was actually the Thunderbolt scenario. So
That's a lot of fun. Yeah,
what they and if you saw our Con of Heroes preview video, basically you picked only one Thunderbolt minion, and then everyone brought in their
their nemesis.
Nemesis set.
Yep.
And so the Nemesis set they would be elite and villainous and get +10 hit points and gain the victory condition. And so they were like the minions,
They were like the Thunderbolt
the
minions,
Thunderbolt minions, yeah.
but
And
specified to the different players.
right, which so when we do, we had us randomize it, but I actually think it'd be better. Some people were actually dealt their nemesis to them.
Very fitting. It felt
Yeah,
fitting.
I think that. Yeah, I mean, even yeah, they are going to switch. There's cards, obviously, in the Thunderbolt scenario
So,
that rotates them.
and
But
speaking of that scenario, if you do the print and play, double check on it because at least on the copy that was printed out for us at the con, there was a typo and it didn't. The line saying that the Nemesis minion got victory and villainous was left off of our copy, they may or may not add it to the one on the print and play.
Yeah.
They weren't sure yet if they were going to. So
But
just be
basic,
aware.
the bottom line is just look at one of the elite
Thunderbolts. Yep.
Thunderbolt minions and add 10 hit points to your minion, and that gains all those other traits.
Yep.
So I watched Nelson's video about the Con of Heroes a little bit, and he said they played with standard 2, and one of the cards says all nemesis attack you. And so somebody got attacked. It was like in the very first turn. So someone got attacked by all 4 nemesis
Did they
with
they
villainous each, and they survived.
they survived?
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's crazy. The other event that we didn't get a chance to get in, but it looked very interesting, was there was a custom multiplayer Loki scenario. And I saw a few people playing it. So one of the highlights that I heard about was that it was a multiverse. So there's a whole bunch of players, but it was like a TVA kind of thing. And
I didn't hear this one.
apparently the person made a Loki who impersonates each of the heroes that's in the game. So you may not get the hero that. So say if I'm playing Spider-Ham, for example, Spider-Ham's going to be in one of the players on one of the tables, and so it may not be our table, but it might be one of the other tables fighting the
Right.
Loki as Spider-Ham. When that version of Loki gets defeated, then the Spider-Ham player gets to like draw a card.
So is this a fan made
Yeah, this was
scenario?
yeah.
Okay.
So we'll have to treat.
Yeah, I didn't hear about that one.
Yeah, that was what they were playing off on the.
Okay, no, the one I got a chance to play. I don't normally do a lot of custom content that I play. I mean, Con of Heroes stuff's an exception. I really enjoy that, but a lot of the other stuff I don't. I mean, we've got so much stuff, so much content already. We don't have a lot of time to do a lot of it. But I did actually turn up. Somebody wanted to play some. They had DC heroes,
Yeah.
and it was fun. I got to play Aquaman. That was actually a hoot. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, that was on Sunday. Sunday's kind of a free for all, and I played Harley Quinn.
Yeah, that one was interesting.
That was very.
I mean, it's
So she likes status cards. So
negative stats card.
right. So she gets stunned. She gets a buff on her thwarting, and if she gets confused, she gets a buff on her attacking. So that was kind of interesting. And then she had a bunch of cards where you could change statuses and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
that was pretty fun.
And Aquaman's big deal was he had sea monster support as supports.
Yeah. And the other game that I got in that was very fun, which was on May the 4th, which is
Yeah,
appropriate.
I missed this one. I was in the middle of another game,
Yeah,
so I didn't get to
no,
play
it
this
was Star Wars Champions, and so someone had made it was Luke, Leia,
Han,
Chewie, and
Chewie.
Han. Yeah, and I played as Han, and he kind of ish Star Lord ish in a way. You would
So
get
was he-
booster cards though, so there were boosts instead of encounter cards, and then he would get bonuses based on the number of boost cards in front of him. But as soon as the villain activated against you, it would be like the Venom villain, who would get all the boost cards, but it's specifically for your activation. So it wasn't for like the very next activation. So it kind of was a cross between Star Lord and Venom.
So was Obi-Wan their version of Nick and
Yeah.
And Yoda their version of the professor?
Yoda, no, I forgot what Yoda did. But Obi-Wan Kenobi was, I believe, was like Nick Fury.
Okay.
And so there's not as many characters in Star Wars, at least the New Hope. So he actually kind of broke it down to where the subtitle mattered, kind of like Spider-Man Miles, Spider-Man Peter Parker.
Yeah, but
this was like Han Solo, A New Hope, or just Han Solo, where it's actually two different characters. So I had Chewbacca as an ally, and there was a Chewbacca player. So in a way, I was just saying like, your Chewbacca's doing all this stuff. I'm just deciding what he does on my turn, in a way. So,
yeah.
but and then so there was Leia, but then the princess is kind of like Hope. So I mean, yes, it is supposed to be Princess Leia, but
Okay.
they actually called it the princess, so it would be different than Princess Leia. And
Okay.
so the princess would move around as like the first player token, and then you could exhaust her to like remove threat and things like that. So
Okay.
it was very similar to like say Hope Summers or something. But yeah, it was the guy had did a pretty good job. It was really fun.
Yeah,
And
and
yeah, so that was, and the other thing, the thing I really enjoyed this year was we got to play with a lot of people,
we
a
did.
lot
We
of
played with
different
a lot of
people
different people. I
at the hotel and at the con.
Yeah, and I actually borrowed a couple of people's decks just because it's like, well, we build a lot of our decks on the fly, so I didn't have a lot of pre-built decks. They're like, well, they've got a table, they've got an opening, they want to go now. So instead of doing time, I just borrowed a deck from somebody and had a lot of fun playing other people's decks. I mean, some interesting deck building styles out there. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I had a lot of fun with that. I think another game that I found that was really memorable. Dave wasn't in this one; he got spared this one, but it was painful. We had a group of guys that I sat down with to play. While, in fact, I think it was while Dave was playing the Star Wars one, but and I'm like, I said, so I got everything. What do you want to play? And one of them said, well, let's play Loki. Okay, sure, we can do Loki. I haven't done him in a while. Somebody else was like, let's make this interesting. Let's throw in Hydra Assault. Okay, sure, we can do Hydra Assault with well, not Loki. I'm sorry, Ultron. It was Ultron. So Ultron with Hydra Assault, and then what was the next thing? The Gauntlet,
Yeah.
the Infinity Gauntlet. I'm like, oh, we're dead.
Ultron.
Yes, we were dead. It did not take very long at all. We got whooped on that one, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got whooped.
The other thing I really enjoyed was a lot that we got some people said they watched our channel, which was amazing.
Yes.
So a lot more people watched our channel.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Uh, the other item that I really liked was that Tony and the new designers, Frank and Aaron.
Oh, the Q&A, yeah.
Yeah, they had a panel, which was
Yeah, probably less of a Q&A, more of a panel.
yeah, and they were kind of, I mean, they didn't do any specific, spoilers or anything, but they just kind of talked about, the line is continuing.
Kind of, they revealed as much as they could without
Yeah.
giving it away.
Yeah, they didn't give any names or anything like that, but they hinted, the game is still going strong. Obviously there is a release after Agents of Shield. They said Michael Boggs did a project, which is amazing. They also said there was a product that's not a campaign, not a hero pack, not a scenario pack. So I'm not exactly sure what that is. So that'll be interesting.
Yeah, there's a lot of talk in the community about what that's going to be.
Yeah.
There seems to be a consensus, but we're not going to comment on that.
Right. The other thing that was great was Caleb had stopped by, and so we actually got a game in with Caleb.
That was a lot of
that
fun.
was fun. I was the fifth person, so I actually ran Ultron. So
Yeah.
so it was Ultron.
Yeah, I turned up playing Ultron 4 times in one day.
Yeah. So that was fun. And yeah, we didn't get a lot. I mean, besides Star Wars champions, I really didn't get any non-champions games in. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. And we got to, after the con each night, people would play Marvel Champions at the hotel, and some people
Until way too late in the
some
morning.
people
Oh, I
were
did not
like,
get enough
wee
sleep.
hours in the morning. I kind of like nodded off like about midnight or so each night,
I'm
but
not sure I got in bed before 2 o'clock anymore.
yeah,
of the con.
I've heard stories that some people were up to 3 or 4 in the morning,
Yeah.
so playing. Yeah, so I really enjoyed the convention. Looking forward to what's going on next year. The other thing that they organized this year was they had food trucks that was right outside the game
Oh,
center.
that was great.
Because like last year, well, so we rent a car because the airport's not, that close.
Not exactly close. Yeah.
And the game center, the first year they had food, but then they kind of stopped preparing food on themselves. So having the car was nice to, go somewhere to get a meal. But this year, technically, I guess we wouldn't have needed it because they had the food trucks. So,
But it was still nice.
yeah, oh yeah, it's so don't have to worry about a $60 Uber ride each way. But yeah, I mean, we did some running around. We went to a comic book store, and just kind of. Oh, and we went and saw the Thunderbolts movie.
Enjoyed that movie.
Well, I saw part of it. It was the day we flew in, so I was up for like almost 36 hours.
Yeah, they slept through most of the Thunderbolts movie.
Yeah, but not because it was boring, just because I was just super tired, and I ended up seeing the Thunderbolts like on Tuesday, so I really liked it. It was a good movie.
I did. I liked it too, though.
Um,
I think I might have been one of the first people at the con to actually get a chance to watch it.
Yeah, we watched like
because
the one of
we
the
were on the
first
first
shows.
show.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
lot of people went later at night. We went like at 3 o'clock on Thursday, I think it was. Um, yeah, it was, but yeah, I really enjoyed the convention and I'm looking forward to next year. And we probably will do some of the Con of Heroes stuff, on the channel. Maybe we'll do like the Thunderbolt scenario, maybe at some point, maybe Carnage. Yeah, we got a lot of
Yeah, I want to do the Carnage one.
we got a lot of stuff that we
Yeah.
gotta. I don't know if I do the symbiote suit again, but especially not two. Well, who knows? Maybe it'd be better 2 players. Might try that with our group first or something
Yeah.
maybe.
See how that goes.
Yeah, and then there was another module we didn't get a chance to play at the high flying. So that's one that if you saw our Con of Heroes preview or go on to Con of Heroes webpage, it's all about gaining the aerial trait for people that maybe don't normally have aerial.
Oh, that's right. I forgot
Yeah,
about that one.
yeah, we never added it to a scenario. I thought about it, um, but yeah,
I actually turned up playing a few characters with Ariel, so
yeah, yeah. Well, you like aerial,
I
so
do like Ariel.
um, but yeah, I got to play a couple Shuri decks and I got to play a couple Silk decks, so that was fun. Um,
Yeah, I made a conscious decision not to play Shuri and Silk because I thought, oh, sure, this is day of release. It was the first day of the con or street date. And so I'm thinking, everybody else is going to want to play it. And I actually didn't turn up seeing as many Shuri and Silk decks as I thought I was going to see. I did play against a few. I mean, of course, Dave played some, and then I played a couple of games that Dave wasn't in that had them, but I
yeah,
didn't see as much as I thought. Not like in some of the cons in the past, like when Nova came in, every game had a Nova character, and that wasn't the case this time. I guess because there's a lot more content now.
yeah. And I don't know, maybe next year I might not bring the entire collection. I don't know. So we might have to
We're still debating on that one,
compare index. Yeah,
whether or not our suitcases can handle it.
our
Because
suitcases were pretty much almost at the weight limit. So
yeah, I bought a souvenir die, a 55 millimeter spin down. That it was really cool, but I bought that and I'm like, my suitcase might be overweight, but no, we shifted stuff around.
yeah, he was like an exact weight limit. It's like
Dead on, yeah.
I was like about 3 pounds under. But yeah, so it was, yeah, I really enjoyed Con of Heroes. And like I said, looking forward to next year. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
Alrighty,
Unless you
guys.
got anything you want to add.
No, I think that pretty much covers it pretty good.
All right. Well, thank you for watching, everyone. Please like and subscribe.
And if you want to see new content by us, go ahead and hit that subscribe bell down there, and you will get notified when we put up new. You'll get alerts whenever we put up new videos.